this is Tracy Lewis with Stuff and Things. I'm doing things backwards. I already posted the sneak peek video where I made 12 different designs and without any additional supplies. Today we are moving. It's a beautiful sunny day after days and days of rain, and my box is already open. I put everything back in it, and you can see where I taped it closed, so if it fell, everything wouldn't go everywhere. So later this evening, there should be round 2 of Paper Pumpkin using added supplies. Stay tuned. In part 1, I just wanted to clarify, I got a lot of comments of people thinking it's amazing that I could pack up to move, and I'm moving the next day, but I was able to stop everything and spend a little time on the Paper Pumpkin video. And then I realized I forget that, you know, there's new people popping in and out watching these videos. I actually live in a fifth wheel. We hit the road, we sold everything and hit the road in 2017. And so I'm finishing up my 4th year on the road. So when I say packing up and moving, it is moving from one campground or location to another location. And we typically move every week to 3 weeks, somewhere in that time frame. We never stay in the same place for more than a few weeks at a time. I thought today I would do the part 2 a little different. Libby, who is my team leader, loves this technique, and the technique really only works with white core papers. So the Stampin' Up colored cardstock is solid core, so it's color through the core. This is how a A2 size card base comes for pretty much for most of the Paper Pumpkin kits. They have just a one side color coding. So that is the first technique I want to share that extends the existing products, and all you have to have is some sort of sandpaper. The best sandpaper that I think works best is these blocks. And we actually use these blocks for our discs. We play disc golf, and they do get roughed up. And so we use this to smooth the edges. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to then talk about another fun technique. And I already mentioned that this is a sympathy set with the stamps talking about loss, and I'm here for you. But you can always use sentiments from any stamp sets. And one thing unique also that I didn't get a chance to point out is that many of the stamp sets that you get have sentiments, but not necessarily inside the card sentiments. So I'm going to take this off so I can read it to you if you haven't opened your kit yet. There is a very nice, sharing in your sorrow, thinking of you and wishing I could be there to hold your hand. And then so sorry for your loss in a bouncy cursive is the larger front card front sentiment, and then this could be the inside sentiment. It also does include, you've already seen because I showed the bouquet, there is a nice large flower bouquet. So this is perfect for coloring. I won't demo the coloring for you. You could use any inks that you have. Alcohol markers are my personal favorite, but you could use colored pencils. The Stampin' Right markers are just a dye ink marker, as well as the alcohol markers to do the coloring. And then it has I'll always be here for you, and a couple of little drops, like raindrops, and the 3 flowers. So let's get on with some of these other possibilities to use that are maybe things you have around the house, like the having the sandpaper. What I use also for working on the edges of the cards, in fact I'll show that, is I just use scissors or a knife to rough the edges. This is just from whatever you have in the kitchen or your sewing kit. You can always rough up the edges of the paper. You can crumple it up and then uncrumple it. You could get it wet while it's crumpled. Do all sorts of treatments to paper that don't require that you have anything additional to the kit. So what I have done is I prepared a dry embossed. This is dry embossed. This is the back side with scripty. So it has words. And because it's a white core, I'm going to show you what happens when you add sandpaper to it. I'm just going in circles. This is how I tend to, even with my coloring, I rotate my paper. So I don't over sand one area. Pardon me. All right, so here is a really fun treatment that you can do to any of your supplies that come with a white core. I think you could, if you wanted, I might do this as well. I'm going to go away. I'm going to emboss this. I just saw this sitting here and thought, I wonder if I can dry emboss this larger die, colored die, and see what the scripty looks like on it. So I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back. You'll notice maybe that the lighting has changed. And the reason why the lighting has changed is that last night I was reviewing the footage and realized that I thought I was filming one part of the video when I wasn't. So I am going to be popping in some of the missing footage that I thought I had filmed. And the first thing that I missed was that I had taken the bouquet and ran it through using the scripty dry embossing folder. And there's the back with the scripty. And then I went ahead and sanded it, and that is what it looks like. So I have here the unsanded card base and the sanded card base, just to show you the kind of the differences in the looks. So there's where the sanded scripty is on the smooth one, and now we'll reverse it. And you can see the very different looks that you get by adding this Libby treatment, as I will call it. So that was what was missing for this section. All right, I am back to demonstrate my mom's signature technique that I really like. I went ahead and cut out. I used these dies, which are from the Well Written Dies set, and I did Happy Birthday, the leaves, and the bird. And I used a Celebration product that is going to be available through this Sunday. The event ends on the 28th. So there's these fun papers. It's called Oso Ombre. And there's the dots, or circles I should say, or the ombre. And I cut the leaves out of the ombre paper, and here's what the back looks like in the Blackberry Bliss. And the bird is Rococo Rose, which coordinates with this set, and the Bermuda Bay side that also coordinates with the set. And here's the Happy Birthday. So she likes to pull random patterns from her pattern box. She has a huge supply of papers that will probably last her a lifetime. And she will cut them all out. She will put them on, say, and she'll even put them on a busy pattern background. I grabbed one of these little flowers to go with the bird. And the bird could either be in the Rococo Rose or on the teal side. And this would be a really fun additional supplies project. Just using whatever, you could use the pattern papers provided in the kit, or just grab some papers that you have. Like I had this Oso Ombre sitting out because I had done a project with it, and it was at the top of my storage pile for papers when we move. So that's my mom's technique, and then I will have a third technique. Alright, so this is the second bit of footage I had to redo, and I had to redo it because as I was filming I didn't realize my hands had gotten off the camera. So this is a technique that I really enjoy. I have a special Tracy box, so we'll call this the Tracy Technique. It's filled with seed beads that I grabbed from my jewelry stash, and I've pulled a couple of the containers out. I have from our sewing kit that's in the bathroom a very cheesy little threader, needle threader. You can also use beading needles. I didn't grab one, so this is the best I could come up with in the trailer. I didn't really pay attention to the size of the bead holes. Some of them are really tiny and others are a little bit bigger. If you choose to use bigger beads, just make sure you can get a knot big enough to keep them on the thread. So I'm going to start with a knot. The demo that I had done was in just adding them to a pre-existing bow. It was a double bow, and on one of the tails on each side I added a few beads. And then I just make sure that whatever you're doing has enough extra room on the end for the knots that you will need to keep it in place. And in my situation, I have room for about 3 beads on this little guy. I start with the smallest one. This is teeny tiny, so nope, still fits. And I like this pack of beads. I grabbed it because it's just a variety of colors. And then I have silver, gold, purple, blue. Oh, we're going to see if, well, that's kind of big. We'll just do these 3. And I am verifying that this is on the screen. Craft glasses come in really handy here because this wire is very delicate. Okay, so you have the thread through. I fold it over and just pull the beads back. And that is the technique of getting the beads on. And then I have a completed project. I also have the bow footage as well as a hanging sample that I had come up with. So that way we have 3 projects in the photography of using the beads. Okay, so to finish this one off, I already have the start of a project, and it is a combination of my mom's technique and the beads. So I have this card started already. So in this case, I took another celebration paper. This paper is called, right here, Flower and Field. And I thought that this black with the Rococo Rose and the Cherry Cobbler would be a nice match with this kit. Cut out a bunch of elements, but left them in the middle so that I could also make it a mat. So that's just another little tip, trying to use up every bit of my supplies. I then Because this is 6 by 6, I was able to add another strip. This particular Rococo rose with the hatching is from the inside of one of the envelopes. I made a beaded, these beads move. I even let the knot be on here. I only knotted one end and then folded this other end over. So that is what that looks like. I cut a little flower element from that well-written die set, popped up one of the flowers that I'm going to put right here. And then another technique, just a little quick one, that I found I needed was this birthday wishes. You'll see a difference between the two words. If you're working with the pattern paper using my mom's technique, perhaps you cut the words out, but you think that the colors clash a little bit and make the words hard to read. Like the light colored flowers on the wishes is a little distracting for me. I totally am aligned with them on the mat, on this trim, and then on the flowers. So all you can have to do, I would recommend, not sure, I've never tested it, using the die Stampin' Up markers, but the blends work really well. So the birthday has just simply been touched up with a little bit of, this is the basic black. Actually, I used the light. I have both colors out. This is the light basic black to just tone everything down, and I don't mind a little bit of the color showing through. So I'm just trying to focus on darkening those white dots. There you go. And this finishes the final project for today's video. I have this sentiment. You watched me sand this card base, and then I sanded over the bouquet itself. I'm gonna do this. This one has dimensionals already on it so that it's popped up, and this guy's already got dimensionals. And then look what this does. It's so cute. So then you put your bow on, and there you have a nice added treatment with those glimmery beads of whatever colors you want. So those are my 3 fun techniques that I wanted to share for the second half of this video for the more Avid style projects, giving you lots of different options. I did also sand this one. This is one of the new half-size dry embossing folders. I wanted to show you that this is a mix of some solid silhouettes as well as thin line dies, and it still works very nicely. You could even take the elements that would be something my mom would enjoy doing and I love to receive. Another thing that I really like to do when you do these die cuts is, you'll notice not all the leaves are cut out. I just left whatever ones fell out, and whatever ones were left in, I left in. Then you could add that cute bow. And I'll take pictures of these designs showing some of the completed projects. Hopefully you enjoyed me kind of going off the beaten path, since I already did this paper pumpkin very different than I normally do. I was really happy to share with you these 3 fun techniques from Libby, my mom, and me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Leave any of your questions or concerns. Be sure to like and subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified when my videos come out. And thanks for watching. thought I would pop in and describe what Celebration is. It is an event that Stampin' Up! Has twice a year. This is the first of the year, and it ends February 28th. You buy product and you earn free products. So there were 2 free products that I demoed with today. 2 papers. They both are each a $50 item. So you buy $50 worth of product and you can choose to get either of these papers for free. There are more products available. If you go to my store online, it will have a section called Celebration. Choose it and it will give you a summary with pictures of all of the different Celebration products that are available. And again, the event ends on Sunday and it will come back again in July.